The main event, that's right. Okay, I think we have started. All right, everybody, today is Thursday, July 21st. I am Heather Cox, and with me today is only one of my co-hosts. Oh, she's on mute too.
Rookie mistake. Hello, I am Victoria Dean.
All right, and we are very excited because not only is he an awesome presenter, but he was a superstar. Max is clearly one of my favorites because he will always step up when we are in need. And we were a little bit slow getting this one scheduled, and Max was like, "Sure, I am happy to come on and present for you." So thank you, Max. I'm going to turn it over to you, and looking forward to hearing what you've got to share today.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Obnoxious, but can I get a confirmation that people can hear me? I am using Teams on the web today so that I can show you cool stuff on my desktop.
You are audible.
Cool. Very uncomfortable using Teams on the web, as all of you should be. Not that it's a bad thing, but Teams on the desktop, far better. So as Heather mentioned, I'm Max Fritz. I've seen a lot of you before in these office hours, and I'm all around in other office hours like our LTI ones. I am a product manager for Microsoft for Education. I work generally on higher education technologies, but we kind of spread ourselves all around for education engineering. So I work with the K-12 stuff, I work with higher ed, I work with stuff with libraries and everything in between. Oh God, Steve, thank you, and everyone else. Disclaimer, as Heather mentioned, I am coming in not unprepared, but today is going to be a little bit more of a kind of jumping around and sharing with you some cool new announcements and stuff that I just think is really cool and you should know about in Teams and in everywhere else. So for those who aren't aware, which I honestly wouldn't expect many people to know, Microsoft just had what we call the Microsoft Inspire conference on Tuesday. And Microsoft Inspire, and this is the reason why I don't think many of you would know about this, is for our partners. Not that we don't consider you cool people that we want to partner with, but it's more the people that sometimes resell our licenses or build products on top of our services and so on and so forth. So a lot of the news is, very oriented to those folks, but snuck in there is quite a bit of news about new stuff coming out in Teams, in Power Platform, in M365, and everywhere in between. Just because it's an event and we can announce things, because we like to do that, right? For those of you who remember the Build conference from a couple months ago, we announced stuff at the Build conference that isn't necessarily for developers, even though that's targeted to developers. So I am going to walk through a few different announcements that we want to kind of cover and show off today. Okay, so let me see if I can do this right.
While Max is pulling that up, if you were looking for the link to the store, I did post it again in, oh, it's the pin. See, I can see the pin in the new chat. I don't know why. Somebody say it's in the pin in the old one. I don't know. Okay, but back to you, Max.
Okay, no problem. I am going to share my screen out and we're going to run through some stuff. And yes, I am sharing my screen to share a PowerPoint. I know. PowerPoint Live would be a far better way to do this, but there's a specific reason. I am going to share with you a bunch of demo videos, and a lot of these videos have audio with them, and I don't want to share the audio with you, not because I'm hiding things from you, but because then you'd be listening to some boring person from marketing instead of me. So this way I can narrate them for you. Deal?
Deal.
Cool. Okay. All right. So hopefully these videos don't auto start, because I want to beginning to kind of explain to you what these are. The first thing, who here has heard of a Teams room system? Do a little thumbs up for me. Okay, okay, good handful of thumbs up coming through. Awesome. So Teams room systems are cool, but you know, I use them with my colleagues pretty often because I am actually in Minnesota, believe it or not. We have product managers all over the world, but a lot of my colleagues, as you can imagine, are off in Redmond, Washington, where we are famously headquartered off near Seattle. And when I'm invited to a meeting that some people are sitting in a conference room for, well, what ends up happening is one tiny square in Teams is the conference room camera, and then everybody else who's remote gets a bigger camera. And that just doesn't make sense. So what ends up happening is my colleagues who are sitting in that room also join the meeting from their computer so that their video can be bigger. And it's just, it's obnoxious for them. It's obnoxious for the remote people. It just doesn't make sense. So we're introducing through some of our partners our intelligent cameras. These are actually available today and more are launching soon. So we'll play this little video, again, audio off. There we go, audio off. So what happens is you can see these 4 people down below in the room camera, but we're actually using AI inside of the camera itself. There's a chip in each one of these cameras that will show the person in the room. And actually, if you opt in, again, this is opt in, pause real quickly here, opt in, we will recognize who you are and actually identify you based on your Azure AD or Microsoft 365, whatever you want to call it, profile picture and profile. So we can tell in this room that this is Abigail through facial recognition if Abigail in her team settings opts into that facial recognition. So this is something that is now already available, and you have to have a certified device to use it. If you're wondering how to find these certified devices, you can go to aka.ms/teams devices. If one of my colleagues would be so kind as to put that in the chat for me, and I'll bring that over so you can look at it as well. And we go to web cameras. Oh, sorry, not web cameras. We go to Teams rooms, room system accessories. And then you'll be able to choose from accessory type. You'll be able to choose camera. And you can start taking a look at all this stuff. So in the questions, we've got how well does the intelligent camera work in a classroom of 25 to 30 students? That's a really good question. And I will be very upfront. This is not something that we've designed for the classroom at this time. I believe it has a limit of 8 or 10 people that it can identify at a single time. And they have to be within a close proximity as well. It's not something where, you know, you could zoom in on a lecture hall of students or even your standard K-12 style classroom. It is something that we are certainly open and looking at. It's just not something that we've gotten to yet. I just realized you can't see my video while I'm screen sharing because I'm using Teams on the web, so I'm very sorry about that, but I'm here.
Max, can you give me that one more time? It opens up in Excel. Was that what it's supposed to do?
Let's try it. It's aka.ms/teams devices.
Oh, I put Teams rooms devices because that's what you had said. That's an Excel spreadsheet.
Excel Legos too, but we'll talk about that later.
So Jose, you can go ahead and delete yours.
I'm gonna have to figure that out later.
Okay, thank you.
So that's intelligent cameras for room systems. Again, we love room systems in the classroom. They're actually really cool to install in the classroom if you haven't before. But this is more for your conference rooms, your business IT side of things. All right, we already watched the video. Okay, next up is Excel Live. Now I'm going to try to actually show this one live instead of doing a little live demo. So let's exit out of our PowerPoint. And I am going to start up a new meeting here in my test environment. Just going to do a quick meet now. I'm not going to use audio so we don't get any weird echo effects here today. Oh, that's cool. Don't log into Teams too many times at the same time, kids. All right, we're just gonna do demo office hours, and we're gonna invite our admin, and we will just send this off. Let's try joining again without audio. All right, there we go. I am also going to join this in another Teams on the web. We'll see if we break my computer or not. Not using audio. Okay, so everybody see we've got two meetings going here. They're actually the same meeting. It's just we're signed in as two different users.
We do.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is from one of my users, specifically the one who's not using the web client, I'm going to go ahead and hit the share tray. And things probably should look familiar to you right now. Maybe a few things that you haven't seen before. And you got PowerPoint Live down here. Cool. We've been using PowerPoint Live for a while, right? You've probably seen it a lot in office hours. Hopefully your instructors at your institution, school, college, university are using PowerPoint Live. But if you scroll on down, you're going to see, for now, it's actually going to be named Excel Live, but in my demo environment here, it's being named Collaborate Live. And what I can do is I can browse OneDrive. This is going to be GA in the fall, so bear with me for any hiccups. And I am going to grab an Excel spreadsheet that I'm allowed to bring up. It's going to automatically create a OneDrive share with every one of those people, and it's going to upload it to my OneDrive, in fact, on top of that. And you'll see that we've got an Excel spreadsheet now shown. This is Excel Live, very much like PowerPoint Live. And live, we can interact with the document together and collaborate. So this is, instead of sitting on a meeting together saying, okay, now everybody open this file and work on it together, you don't have to instruct everybody to open the file, wait for them to open the file, and you're not really sure if they're actually working on the file or not. Versus, okay, the other end of the spectrum, okay, I'm going to open the file, I'll screen share, and you guys tell me what edits to make. We can actually live work on the same file together. And if somebody actually has the file open in Excel on the desktop or Excel on the web, they'll still be shown here as well as using the same collaboration features. And so participants are observing where I am on the spreadsheet. So if I go between different sheets, it should show I can see right here, go to Cara Coleman, and it's going to bring me to sheet 2 where Cara is, and back and forth and things like that. So this is coming out, if I refer back to my PowerPoint, in August into public preview. Any questions on this? I'm looking at the chat as well. All right, I don't see any questions, so we can move on. Unless you want to bring anything up.
No,
Okay.
if someone would just teach me, some Excel basics to begin with, then I would love to use this.
Okay, next up are Teams displays. So Teams displays, again, this is not really relevant necessarily for your teaching and learning environments, but this is a new type of Teams devices. You'll see these at that link that Heather shared earlier, the second link she shared, not the Excel spreadsheet. These are dedicated devices for Teams. And so we're going to see right here that this Yealink device, somebody can walk up, sign in, join a meeting, or start a meet now in this case, invite people to join them, do whatever they need to do, it's logged them in so they can share from their OneDrive, they can share whiteboard, share PowerPoints, all sorts of stuff like that. It is a dedicated Teams meeting device that's kind of meant for hot desking or kiosk use. So it's really awesome to use for devices. It's dedicated for meetings. So it has most of these are going to have speaker phones, kind of like those Jabra speaker pucks or Yealink makes them too now, and lots of companies, in fact. You can see that's actually at the bottom where he's got his phone rested. In fact, this model from Yealink has wireless charging built into it. So we've got a speaker, we've got cameras, we've got microphones, all built into this device that are higher quality than you're generally going to find in a laptop, which enables it to really be the ultimate kind of hot desk meeting device. Any questions? Okay. We'll move along. Okay, webinar enhancements. I know that you all have been waiting for lots of webinar enhancements. So we're going to go through the video because the video, this one shows it pretty well. And then I will show you live what I can. And please hit me with questions because I can show you lots of different things on this one. Go ahead and mute that and we'll play. So you're all used to seeing the webinar option at the top. Now you can add a bunch of different options. You can add logos, you can add presenter bios, you can add all sorts of different configuration to the registration page. You can specify co-organizers ahead of time. Right there, we've got our Q&A feature that is going GA and for webinar usage right now as we speak. And all of this is coming like right now. If you don't have it already, you should see it soon. So to show you that, let's go back into our little demo environment. We're going to hang up our meeting here and we'll go into Teams and we are going to go and schedule a webinar. So let's give this our office hours webinar title. Here I can schedule a core organizer to join me. Let's say Adele. And, you know, actually, if you will give me just a moment and ignore the interruption, just want to change one thing to make this work a little bit better so I can demo it to you properly.
Yes, Phil, that. Phil, that's right. It says
God.
July, but
That is,
that's exactly what it means.
that is brutally accurate. Well, Max is doing that and he's pulling some stuff up. I'm going to drop a site in. I usually assume that people are familiar with things and then they don't have those things, which is, I'm just really great with words right now. I dropped in the Microsoft 365 roadmap. So this is public facing. This is something that you can, you know, Max is showing you a bunch of different features. If you want to follow up on items, you can go in, you can search by product, put in some keywords and search. I love to keep this link handy. So if you don't already have it saved, I really suggest saving it. That way, if there's something that Max shares today that is coming, but it's not quite here, this is the place where you can go and you can get your updates. Thank you, Heather. So I created a webinar. You'll see in here that I can add presenters very much like I used to be able to before. So I add them by email address. So let's go ahead and add Arden from my tenant. And right here, oops, sorry, continue editing, save. Now we can go to presenter bios and I can edit Arden's presenter bio. I can add a picture. I can change things like job title, enter a LinkedIn profile, add a bio, Twitter, personal website, all sorts of information like that that will then show up on our event site. which looks something like, oh, it's gonna get angry at me.
Max is just
go.
trying to show us how many instances of Teams you can
Sh-
have open and before it gets mad.
We're really getting close to control.
It's like
Really.
Teams Inception here. Teams in Teams within Teams.
Okay, I have two, and we did it. I have too many instances of Teams up. Oh, you know what? I just need to publish the site. Maybe that's gonna work. Let's just give it one last college try here. I apologize for everybody in higher ed that I just offended. There we go. Okay, there's our event with
Yay.
our two speakers, our wonderful banner and icon, the ability to register, a wonderful new registration page.
Mhm.
And you can then see we can change those inside of theming. We can change all sorts of information about registration, like dates, wait lists. A lot of this is from before. It's already existed for a long time in webinars. And then we can see who's registered. We can go and preload apps into our meeting. And you do that by clicking the Add a Tab button, just like you would any other meeting. We've got a question. Can we get a Teams client to run as a Teams app? Is that a joke about Teams Inception or a question that I'm not understanding?
My guess is that it's a joke.
Okay.
Inception.
It's like, okay, yeah, that one went over my head. All right, concerning Excel Live, sarcastic. Will there be a way to open the spreadsheet in the Excel desktop app, or is the experience restricted to just the Teams app? Right now, the experience is restricted to Teams app, kind of. So you're gonna see the file pop up in Excel Live in the Teams app, but there's nothing preventing you from opening Excel and opening that same files there. I don't believe there's a link to just open the desktop app. But as I mentioned earlier when we were demoing it, it will still show everybody's cursor and everybody's, not cursor, but everybody's location within the worksheet and things like that. You won't have the follow along feature. So, if the presenter moves from one sheet to another, you won't see that kind of a thing. So great question, Matt. All right, next feature I want to show you, we're not even going to look at the slide deck for this one. We're just going to show you it. And my colleagues at Microsoft might be able to, you gotta be kidding me. Cool news, everybody. I turned off chat in this tenant because I was demoing something for somebody a while ago. So we're going to do the video for this one. In the meantime, Kim, I see your hands up.
Yes, sorry, I think you missed the chat. So we've had a couple people ask in the Georgia Tech tenant if there's a way to change the primary organizer once it's been published, or can we only modify the co-organizers?
Only co-organizers.
Okay, thanks.
Good question. Fair question. For the foreseeable future, just going to be co-organizers. All right, so I'm going to jump back into slideshow here. And unfortunately, again, because I said I turned off chat in my tenant because I was downloading something for somebody at some point that I must have forgotten about. We're going to show this one in the video. And this is regarding our new video clip feature. So we'll take a look here. We're in a chat. Could be a one-on-one chat, could be a multiple person chat. And you're going to see this new little icon down here called record a video clip, where you can literally record a quick video clip. You can trim it, not edit. I like to make that clear. You can trim either the beginning or the end or both, and you can send that off. This is really cool for just a quick way to send a message. You all hopefully have seen the little way that we can record an audio message, but now we're doing this with video as well. I'm not going to say this is bringing TikTok to work because it is not. Let me be excruciatingly clear about this. There are a bunch of different scenarios we created this for. Field workers is a huge one. Again, not education specific, but we have field workers in every industry where somebody has a device and they just want to send something quickly or point it at some physical object and be able to show somebody something quickly, where they don't have to set up a meeting or record something, then send a video file. It's all instant and available within the app.
However, Max is not saying that you are not allowed, you are perfectly welcome to perform TikTok dances in your video for your coworkers. In fact, I'll test it out later and send Max a video.
I knew that was coming. Okay, yeah, Heather's words, not mine.
I have no videos on TikTok. You can follow me, but there's nothing there. I am a TikTok lurker.
Me too. Okay, so next one up is live share. Live share is, sorry, let's go back just a second. I need to be transparent about dates. This is going to come in public preview in August and generally available in September. And before I only have 3 minutes, don't I? Is that right?
Your clock's different than mine. I have 1 minute, but you are welcome to take 3.
Okay, we're gonna go really fast here. Okay, live share. This is now in public preview today. Live share is really, really cool. So with third-party apps that you download from the App Store now, you're going to be able to share content from those apps. We don't have any education partners that are lined up yet today, but you can see here's an engineering app called Hexagon that you can do live shares from. And if the app supports it, we can show cursors and all sorts of things like this. So you don't have to go outside of Teams for apps. We've got a lot of engineering instructors who like to tell us, I can't use PowerPoint Live for everything because everything isn't in PowerPoint. I use these 5 engineering apps. And I have to desktop share and it's inconvenient. This is us trying to solve that, and it's going to be a journey, but we're going there. Updates in Teams. This sounds like what I've been talking about the whole time. Max, you've been talking about Teams updates. No, this is an actual app called Updates in Teams. It's a version of Microsoft Lists that lets you schedule updates. People basically and it can be done from a mobile device. It can be done from a desktop, anything like that, and it can go to a central location. Really cool. That's available today, unless your IT admin turned it off. And if you're an IT admin, stop turning things off, please. Just go to your Teams apps and search for updates. This one, feel what you want about it. Again, this is really targeted towards our partners, but if you don't like buying things in multiple locations, you can now buy things within the Teams app stores, a subscription to an app. We are not introducing paid apps. I want to be super clear about that. This is not like the app store on your phone where an app now costs $1.99. Nope. It is the apps are free, and before somebody might have said, okay, well, to use this app at its full functionality level, you have to come to our website and buy a subscription. You can now do that through Teams. This can be turned on and off for members of your tenant so that you don't have shadow IT purchasing. That should be something you look into in the Teams Admin Center. And the last thing I have to show you is app discoverability improvements. The App Store is now way easier to use. This is live today. You can find all sorts of apps. We are putting curated lists of apps together. It still has the categories, even within the categories, better information about each and individual app out there. So that is my whirlwind of information. And if you haven't completely lost me yet, just one last thing, if Heather will humor me.
Always.
If you want access to some of this stuff a little bit earlier, go into your team settings and turn on private preview, which should show right around here because I'm in a kind of a different version of Teams than you guys because I'm part of engineering. I don't see that, but you'll be able to turn on private preview in a checkbox in the general tab, and you'll get access to this stuff earlier when you're like, okay, Max said public preview in August. Turn it on here, public preview. Okay. That was the whirlwind of office hours. Hopefully that was useful to you. And I've got some stuff brewing and hoping to come back to office hours again sometime next month.
Yes, so we have a great topic and idea for Max to come back and share with us. Max, while I'm wrapping things up quickly, do you have the Inspire link handy, that blog? Would you drop
Yes,
that in there for us?
I've got a few of those. I will throw them in the chat right now.
Perfect. Max is going to drop those in there. We learned a lot today. We also learned don't use teams within teams within teams, because you know what? It's not going to like you. So we will be back again next week. Next week is when we have the Power Apps Showcase. So if you have not already, if you are interested in sharing some things, scroll back in our chat here, or actually I can also scroll back and then re-drop it. Andrea has provided a link for you to offer up your willingness to share something you have created. And we're going to do a little bit of a showcase model, because that's one of the pieces of feedback that we got, was that you all wanted to hear from your peers and what were they doing and how were they using certain tools. So that's one of the things that we will have. So Max, thank you for joining us. As always, he is